All right, here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom. Today is what? December 15th, 2018. And we have our very special guest, Ranjeet. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Perfect.
Perfect. It's a pleasure to have you on and sharing your whole experience. You've been on a few calls with us and shared your what's the word I'm looking for? Enthusiasm, which is what many of us need when we're dwelling deep into these long fasts, because it's a place where very, very few will ever go. And the ones who dare will get big rewards when they live this lifestyle. So let's leave the floor to you, Ranjeet. And you have basically decided you want to break your fast today.
On the Zoom.
On the Zoom.
Yes. Yes. I'm crazy. You know, no, well, want me to get going, or
it's up to you. You can break now. You can break anytime.
yeah. No, whatever you want to do. With maybe start sharing your story. Whatever you want to do.
It's up to you. We want to pray for you when you're eating. As soon as you start, we want to take a silent moment and pray and wish you the best.
I've got goosebumps. I'm in the zone. And
do you have a photo from when you started of yourself?
Yeah, I have a photo where I'm about 5 kilos heavier, and I'll pop that on the Facebook page, because I was around just on 80 kilos when I started, and I weighed myself this morning and it's just on 58 kilos.
Nice.
Toxic waste.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to, first of all, is my intention of me being on here. So just to be clear, and so we can have a really lovely, is that I want to add to all your listeners, because if there's anything, even if it's one word that comes through me, because it's not me talking, it really isn't me. It's definitely the other dimensions, and somebody needs to hear something. It's for you, that you can live in freedom, and however you get there for freedom and joy and happiness and have peace on here while we're in this human experience, that's definitely my intention of today. And I don't want anyone to compare, because my personal journey is something that I've walked in my shoes. And I know I come across very happy and positive, which is actually part of I've gone back to my original personality. I've always been fairly happy, but my happiness has always been suppressed by, by the world, I suppose, and the conditioning of the mind that, and I noticed I suppressed that for quite some time, even though it used to peak up every now and then. So I don't want anyone to compare, because, everyone's got their own personal path of how they get there. But my intention is to add some value, that I do say something. And of course, the other thing I have to say is absolute, really, I feel it in all my heart, my being, my cells, is gratitude. I really feel it. It's a deeper feeling of gratitude and appreciation to everyone that's done this beforehand, because I've watched all the YouTube channels and the interviews, and they help me more than you can imagine. So there has to be gratitude in that sharing. And there's no way that I could not share back, because what's given to me is just that expansion of that dimension, and I get it. And so I want to say that, and of course to you, Rana and Gino, I mean, honestly, far out. You guys are just unbelievable master creators in developing this. You're giving. I feel your soul. I feel you like I know you so well, even from the first time I went on the page. And my love for you is just beyond anything that I can imagine. Is, how you can love strangers that you don't know, and then you love them, because we are all consciously connected. And I just really, really love you with all my heart. So thank you. And I'm going to tell everyone this: there is no other group, there is no nothing. I've searched, then doing this MFS journey and this lifestyle. If you want fast freedom, you got to clean out that GI tract. Okay, so I'll go back through. You want to know my history about food and how I, came about what I was eating. My mum and dad. My mum and my dad had an arranged marriage. They're from India and Punjab. So mum was about 16, my dad was 18, and they got married in England, in the UK. And my mum's older sister married my dad's older brother. So 2 sisters married to 2 brothers, and they had 4 older children. Yeah, and we all lived in this house, two different houses in the UK, in England, and never had a bedroom. And us 3 youngest kids, which is my younger brother and my younger sister, always got the last bath of water at the end of the day, or the end of the week, I should say, because you never bath as much. And there was only one toilet, which was an outhouse toilet. And so you can imagine 8 kids and 2 sets of parents, and so living in this extended environment. Now, my siblings will tell you a different story and experience to what I had. I actually loved it because there was so much passion in the house, from anger to love to giving and all that sort of stuff. And we went to a Sikh church, and I remember as a child, I don't know, maybe I was about 2 years old, they sing the Bible, and I just loved going there and listening to the singing of the Bible. So I kind of knew then that, there was something connected with the umbilical cord to something, but I just really loved that presence and that feeling, and I've never forgotten it as a child. And also as a child, I used to have an imaginary friend, and that friend has been with me all the way through. And I had a realisation through the process that actual friend was me from the future. So that was pretty powerful. And so I know the source that is all around me is really me from the future, which is just at the end of the day. But source, or whatever that imaginary friend was, has always been there for me all the way through. So I don't know if people have had those types of experiences, or some people have, but maybe not been fully aware of it. But I've known that's been there all my life. So that's maybe why I draw towards that spiritual connection more. And the food that we ate in England, we had a lot of curries. We did used to have some take like English food as well, but not much. We never ate meat. So we tend to had like a lamb or chicken is the choice of meat that we had. But then my parents wanted to get away from the UK because they wanted to get away from the family. They wanted to get away from all that influence. They wanted to start a brand new life. My dad came out on the boat, which was the boat that used to come from England to Australia. He had 2 choices of countries to go to. One was Canada and one was Australia, and Australia took him. And he had a choice to go to Sydney or Brisbane, and picked Brisbane, which was great, which was a good choice. And so he came out first, tried to get work, and then my mum and the kid and us came over. But I actually remember when we had to come over, we had to go get injections. Now, my other 3 siblings were fine to go get injections, and it took my mum 3 goes to get me to the doctors and get injections and all that sort of stuff, because I freaked out. So it's really funny how your soul from a child knows so much more. How you're so resistant to those things because you just don't feel it's right. And I always remember my doctor, GP, which his name's Dr. Bush. It's Kate Bush, which I don't know if you know Kate Bush, like Wuthering Heights and that, Kabushka and those sort of songs, but it was his dad. It was her dad. And I just always remember that moment where he had to sort of trick me into getting injections with sugar lollies and things like that, which eventually worked, obviously. And I wanted to, obey my mum. And so, yeah, we hopped on the plane and we landed up in Brisbane. This was 1978. and we came and landed on it was like I felt like I went into another planet, because when we landed it was raining and it was sunshine, and we come out of a tin shed. So we went from this concrete light building and lifestyle over in the UK to something that was just full of space. And I always remember walking down the down the steps to the tarmac, and Dad picked us up, and it was just like felt like I was on another planet. And I did curse my parents for many, many years because I felt they took me away from my family at that time. So it was an interesting journey from that, I was about 8 years old until I came to my sort of early teens, mid-teens. And when we landed here, we were, instead of being in a house full of people, we were in this 2-bedroom unit where I slept on the floor with cockroaches. So we basically, and mice. So we didn't have any money. We were very poor. And we were trying to save up, for the house, to live in, which is actually the same block of land that my parents are still on now, where I am now. But we all worked as a family. So, my dad would drop me and my older sister off to mow lawns, and my mum would grow all her veggies in the backyard. So, like, we would live on spinach curry for 6 months, for example, and some fruit. And we very rarely had, Western food. And if we did have Western food, which was when we got a little bit older, around about 12, 13, when we used to do markets, our reward was to have some, takeaway, at the end of the week or something like that, which we all enjoyed. We didn't have much, so like even birthdays, we used to get $2 cakes, and that was it. No presents but my parents' love language was really about putting a roof over our head, putting food on our table, and making sure we're educated. So, and plus we did this we all grew up together, and that was the best love, I think. I still feel that, they did, coming straight from India, like my mum was from farmland and stuff like that. And I actually even asked my mum, what did you used to eat when you were in India, when you're growing up as a child, and what time did you eat, They never used to really eat until around about like 10:30, 11 o'clock, because they did all their farm work, and she might have chewed on some sugar cane, and they'd have like what's called a lassi drink, which is like milk and yogurt and some fruit in it, around about 10:30, 11, and their main meal, which was in between lunch and dinner, around 4:30 before the sun came down, and they, take hours to cook that and, prepare that. And she was one of 9 in her family. And I'm sure there was relatives that came over as well. So they would feed a big feast at night time. So basically she only really ate 2 times a day. And it's really interesting because my journey through, I did a fasting intuitively in my sort of my late teens, mid to late teens, around 16, 17, where I just lived on apple and a bit of fruit, and I used to go to school. That's right, it must have been about 15, 16. So I used to go to school and I had the highest energy. I just always remember that experience has stayed with me, and didn't really look into it, but I knew that I was in a lot of joy at that time. And by the way, most of the relatives did all come over from the UK as well, so they followed through and built their own lives here with their children and stuff like that, which is wonderful. And then what happened after that? The food experience pretty much from mid-teens, and then in my early 20s, I started to delve into the Western food. And even in my mid-20s, I was okay, because I felt like my stomach could still destroy like a rusty nail or something if I put in it. Like I felt my immune system was really good. And I've actually had a pretty good immune system all the way through. I haven't had too many illnesses, except for, as the 3D label it as chronic anemia. It's probably one of the only major things I've really had. But I just remember I got introduced to alcohol, because there's a big drinking culture here in the X generation, with after school and everything. And so I did used to drink a lot and go out clubbing and having fun and all that sort of thing. But you're always with friends and doing that sort of stuff. And I've always worked. It's only recently that I've actually quit my corporate lifestyle because I wanted to go on this path. of finding more about my spiritual awakening and what why I'm here on earth and what am I doing, and instead of living this mask that I have been living for like 25 years basically. And so the drinking culture came in, and I was on a contraceptive pill, and as soon as I gave that up I just automatically, intuitively wanted to give it up. And that was in my probably around about late 20s. I did that. And around about my sort of like 31, 32, my body just went haywire. It just went like inflammation, overload. I remember one time I reached 96 kilos, and I grew by a centimetre, Gina, and I was 159 centimetres. And like on my frame, it was just huge. You couldn't do anything. You can't bend over. And I just remember it. It was just a struggle. And then I met my husband, Warren, and we got married in 2002. So I was 32 then. And he was a little bit ill. So we went through this journey of like, what's really going on here, And I remember I used to watch David Wolf, I think, at that time. And so we went on this raw food journey, because I remember seeing an interview with him with Genesis Spitfire, and because he did fasting, and that really intrigued me, because like I'm thinking, well, how does someone not live on that sort of food and that? And then I learned about sun gazing and little things like that both me and my husband did together. And so the journey of fasting is amazing. Like, it's been there, all through my life, that thread just follows through. And it's just a matter of tapping in at that right time for your consciousness, and when you're ready to go further. And I just remember that Genesis interview, because like I thought to myself, it just resonates with me. Like, there's something, not that I want to become a breatharian, like this, I don't even know what that word means anyway. Like, I suppose it's no food and no water, and living off the source, which I understand now. And so we did raw food, and that was really good for about 18 months. And then I got sick again, where I felt the inflammation came up. My brain wasn't right, and just other things, hair all fell out, which is okay. Hair always grows back anyway, because your body goes through a shock or something, I think, and then it's just eliminating stuff. But it was just things that weren't right. And then we went straight into Weston Price's philosophy on organic meats and all that, and raw milk. We were making our own butter. It was so much hard work, and it cost so much money. I don't even know why we even did that. But we sourced meat from a person that grew his own cows, and they were, organic, hormone-free, raw milk, hormone-free, unpasteurised, unhomogenized. And like, it was a whole weekend of collecting all this food, and then then you had to prepare it, all that time and effort and energy. So it took off, and I was working full time, and Warren was working, and it was just too hard. No wonder we didn't have any children. I tell you, it's just our lives were just just too much. And then what happened there? I got a lot of constipation, and I felt good for a while, but it wasn't right. There was something just intuitively wasn't right, and we both went back off it. And then I don't know. Then I had to. What happened there? We got moved out of Brisbane, went up north a bit because of my work. So general manager of oral health up north for government. I was working for government, and then we went on to a system that I found, because I said to my husband, I said, I can't do all this because I need things to be easy. I said, I just want things to be simple, because I don't understand why we have to go to the shops and do all this stuff, and why are we eating so much. And I was quite heavy then as well, because I couldn't get the come off. I was just inflamed, like from everywhere. And I said, something's not right, something's not jigging. And so we went and bought a system where you have some shakes and some vitamin tablets and all this sort of stuff. So that actually worked for a little while. And it was good because I felt like, okay, because I got into the science of nutrition. That's one thing I've done all the way through, is getting to this bloody science, because you want to know what you're missing. Oh, how come I'm this and this, and why is my husband not feeling right? He's missing some mineral, this and that. It just goes on and on and on. And it's like it weighs you down anyway. And like, I think this is not right. You know, like, I just can't, you know, you just know, but you don't know the way to go. You know, like, you just want someone to say, hey, do this, and this is going to work, and this is your, you know, the philosophies line up together. And so it was really, really hard. And I was working, you know, so much. Like, I used to interview dentists in the UK at like 9 o'clock at night. You know, like, everybody does this. We all work hard, so I'm not no one special. And you know, did a volunteer group with Toastmasters. I was pretty high up in their leadership, and we were driving down to Brisbane, so it's like a 3.5-hour drive on the weekends sometimes and back. And this is all going on and on. So I'm glad I found these shape things in the system, because it helped me to at least feed my body what my mentality believed at that time about science and having nutrition. So kind of felt good, and I did drop some weight, but guess what? It came back. The inflammation come back. So there's something that's not working. And then we come back to Brisbane, and Warren and I did this whole process of detachment, and we did letting go. So we got rid of all our stuff and everything, and we put our money into other things. And it's just like that whole letting go of all your furniture, of the stuff that you clothe, your jewellery, crockery, all that. This is before I come to MFS. All that was probably one of the most life-changing events, I think, so far in our lives together as a couple. Because you just because when you let go of stuff, now I understand why. I didn't understand then, but I understand why now, because you're letting go of some energy. You know, like, I understand now that a pillow and a chair has some source in it. Like, there's a soul in it. Like, I didn't get that before, right? But it felt good. It felt good when you release and let go. And we got rid of so much stuff. And we come back down to Brisbane, and we just live a really basic minimalistic life, because I said to my husband, I said, I never want to go back to that masked life that I had before, that environment, because it pushed me down. Like, it pushed me as my soul down, it suppressed me. And the more that it kept suppressing me, right, the more that you keep doing it, guess what happens? That spring is it explodes. And I think that's what happened. I think I just went, whew, like, you know, you let me go, you know, and like, I can be me a little bit, you know, and just, then I had to let go of my identity. So that was a real hard journey. That probably took about 3 years, because your name and what you studied for at university, what your career was, all that investment into it, and those lies that you believed, the paradigm. And, you know, most of it, when I look back on it, had nothing to do with me, or had to do with pleasing other people. It really did. Like, pleasing my parents to feel proud of me, you know, like what they've been through, and, you know, pleasing the world, pleasing that I fit in some form, and, you know, with society, which 90% of them are just all bullshit anyway. It's all just lies. Like, you really, like, when you, like, my brother's here, and he had friends over last night, and they were going to their work Christmas party. And it's really funny, because I don't associate, like, I deliberately now have taken away relationships that do not serve the higher purpose at the moment, so I can serve me first. So I was listening to their conversations, and how much I forgot. Like, they were living in the past and talking about all this past stuff, and talking about work stuff, talking about other people and the fears and all this thing, and drumming up this story. And, you know, like, as an observer, you know, like, you just go, wow, that's just really funny in a way, because it's just all lies. Like, you're looking at it I'm in a fasted state. I'm looking at it and I'm going, this is like just a movie screen with a video, and this is just a bullshit story. It means nothing, but to them, it means everything. And I was like that. I was truly like that. I used to get all sucked into this vortex of just you know, one door that you've opened, which is not really real. And yeah, so went through all that. And then the food thing, when we got down here, still had trouble. You know, I stayed on these shakes and these, I used to do 2-day fast and this, which I wasn't consistent with, like once every month. And I noticed on the 3rd day I felt really good. But then you go back to what you're doing and the thoughts that you have and all that sort of stuff. So it doesn't really last, you know, like it just gives you a little bit of a, you know, it felt good for, you know, the 3rd day, but the 4th day you felt like shit. So like I'm thinking to myself, well, that doesn't work. And so then I went on, I said to, because I got over my identity, then it was very much a spiritual quest. And I was looking into fasting a lot because I knew, then I did all the science for a whole year, Gino, all the science and Rana, all the science about fasting. I know, you know, my head, and I'm letting go of that information at the moment. But if someone comes to me, I know every scientific thing about fasting, autophagy and all that lot, you know, all those lies. How I even did keto for 2 weeks. I even knew then, after the 2nd week, I felt sick. So it's like, why do you want to put all that fat in your body? Like, it just didn't make sense. But I did it because I knew all the information and, you know, I didn't feel good at all. So, like, I'm thinking, and there's some guy that talks about it, right? And he's pretty big. And he tells you to have a lot of greens. So I'm thinking, why are you telling someone to have a lot of greens? If you're telling them to have a lot of fat, you're trying to counteract something because they're building up some toxins from that. That's how I'm thinking, this doesn't make sense. All you keep doing is putting food in your body. Because I always knew that the less you eat, the longer that you live. It's definitely true. Because then your body's not using your teeth and this and that to keep working at it. Like I kind of knew that. So, and it is true what they prove it, that the less, I don't believe in calories, but they talk about less caloric intake the longer you live or whatever.
Yeah,
so less is more.
That's the way they measure it. And they got that right because they've done the test, and then animals live longer when they feed them less.
It's just phenomenal. Like, this is a crazy world. No wonder I'm crazy. I don't mind being crazy in the spirit, but far out being crazy in the 3D world. I mean, we are all mentally insane. We're all mentally unwell. There's just, you know, it's normal to be in your head a lot and let the head screw you up, you know, when you don't know how to master the mind, which I love to talk about as well. And so, yeah, I went through that keto, and then I went through all the fasting stuff. I did intermittent fasting, and yet some toxicity come off, but guess what? Came back, which was interesting. And then I did in March this year a 21-day water fast, and
just water, nothing else.
Nothing else, just plain water. And I have to tell everyone here, don't do it, because you know, they all talk about it, you know, have alkaline water. And when I was having a high alkaline hydrogen water and doing it, I mean, okay, first week was really good. Yeah, it was okay. But once you get into that 14 days and a little bit more, my kidneys hurt. And I also had muscles and everything in my calves were all twitching. And because they don't, you know, talk about what you're going to go, you know, what's going in your body. So it's all like it just didn't feel right. It was so strenuous, that water fast, that I honestly reckon people must just kick over, because I shouldn't have done it. You know, I think it's very, very, it's dangerous. It really is. And maybe you could do it for 5 days or something, but even then, like, I think it's just too much on the body and too much on the kidneys. And I wasn't filtering, because I know now from you what the filtering thing is. Like, it was clear water that was coming out. It wasn't the, you know, the sediments and all that. And you're forever on the toilet anyway. Like, you just can't, you know, go, because it just comes through. So that water fast was all, my skin got really dry. Had problems with my eyes. There was some other things that happened. I can't remember. The only thing that was positive about it, is I got a glimpse into the other dimension. Just a very slight glimpse. And that feeling. wasn't much, but I got it. And I went, okay, thank you for that positive information. Let me get rid of this and find something else. And I looked into dry fasting, and then I found your Facebook page, Gina. Thank you so much. And as soon as I hit it, as soon as I start watching the YouTube channels, I was in. I was ready to go. So I think I found you must have been end of June, I believe, of this year, and watched all the interviews. I think I just basically did a feast on 3 days, 4 days, or a week feast on the interviews. Just watched it. I'm going, this makes sense. This resonates. Yeah, what these people are talking about resonates. Yeah, that works. Understand. Okay. And then I just did a mini one. I thought I'll do a mini one, and just did 3 days of MFS. Where I had the grape juice, the plasma pudding. What else did I do? Okay, and I had herbs at the end of it. And I made the kidney tea. So I just, I felt good. I actually didn't have any problems. Like, I didn't have any muscle cramps, or like, I thought this is all right. And I love dry fasting. I'm sorry, I know we only do 12 to 14 hours a day, but it just pulls me so much, dry fasting. And so, yeah, it was good. And then I thought, oh, well, I've got to go. My soul, and I had angels cheering me on. Like, I felt like the support from the other dimensions. I didn't even know it was there then, but I just felt this real strong pull. Come with me, do this. And I thought, okay, I'll do what Jesus did, which is 40 days and 40 nights, because I thought, well, if Jesus can do it, then I can do it. But he always says, we do greater things than him. So I thought, okay, I'll do 40 days and 40 nights. And, first 30 days was really a bit, probably the most challenging out of the whole thing, because I had a checklist, because you know how you've got to change your habits, so you're used to living a certain way. And then you go, okay, I'll go over here. So I did a checklist, and I knew if I did that for 30 days, then I'm starting the lifestyle. Like, I'm starting, this is my normal, my new normal. And so I used to just check things off, everything that I did. And then I had some emotional stuff come up, but I never really had a lot of emotional triggers come up, Gina. And I kept asking that question, like, why isn't it coming up? Why isn't it coming up? And I did this thing where the soul took me. It was around probably, I reckon, must be at the end of the 30 days or somewhere around there, after my 3-day fast, the first one I did. And it took me somewhere, and it watched my whole life chronologically and my physical experience. And all the consciousness was there sitting with me, and we watched me on a video of all the little, because I said, come on, just take me to my traumas, whatever traumas I've had, because I don't know where they are. So we watched it all, and watched me cry at every single vent that I could drum up out of me. And then the consciousness is just watch and feel it. Just watch and feel it. So I did that, and that was like a 2-day thing I was stuck in. And then I come out of that, and I felt really good. I thought, that was pretty cool. Let me ask another question. My other question that I've always had was about ancestors. And how you feel like you want to go back to your genetics, you want to go back to your motherland and have those feelings, because I kind of think that's a bit of a place where you can get stuck. So I went and asked that question. So you do get what you ask for. You always get answers. And so I went through that, and it took me all the way back to Eve. And then Eve said to me, you don't need to know any of that. All you need to know is about the light, and that you return back to the light. You don't need to know anything about the ancestor stuff, because that's just something that happened at that time. It's got nothing to do with you right now. You always go back to the light. And I went, oh, okay. So I've now forgotten that I'm Indian, and now I don't even want to eat the Indian food anymore. Like, there's no desire. Like, I had that desire not in 30 days, and then I just have no desire for my cultural food. Like, it's just it's it's like it cuts it in the sand. It's like, this is this, now we're doing this, you know. Which one do you want? I'll go with that for sure, because it feels so damn good, you know, like it feels great. You've got to go with your feelings. So then I kind of discovered in the 30 days where you eat the food in the other dimension, because, you know, all these different foods kept popping up in my head, like in my thoughts, and pasta still comes up all the time. And so just all these things come up, and I go, well, what am I going to do? Like, you know, I speak to the dimension and go, well, I don't know, like I want to taste it in my mouth, but I don't know, like if I taste it, then it's going to go down my tract, and then I just stuffed up the whole thing, and what am I doing here then? You know, like, this is what we're doing together, you know. So, yeah, so it got me to taste it in the other dimension, which was really fascinating, because I've used that all the way through. And now, like, don't really have any desire. The soul knows that I'm breaking today. So it's been an interesting week in regards to getting to the watermelon. The soul seems to know. I've talked a lot.
It's your floor.
And I just hope it helps someone, because I've got other stuff I can talk about, like so much stuff. It's the downloads and it's just amazing, Gina, like this whole thing. Like, if you just follow your system, like, just what I did, I surrendered to it, right? And was my intention to connect to source and awareness. That was my intention. I didn't care about anything else. Didn't even care about my body, my physical body. And now I love my body. So I don't think I loved it before. And now I'm in my body all the time, because you've got to get in your body, because what happens when you go to every fairyland, when you get in those meditative states, you've got to ground yourself. You've got to do that, what's his name, that breathing, the slow breathing, not the Wim Hof breathing, the other one, because, and you've got to do, you just got to I do stretching, and I walk. I can't believe how much I walk. I, you know, feel the trees, and I look at a flower now, and I see the colour, and it's like the flower, I can hear it sing. So you feel that vibration of its noise. Everything's heightened, like in a really massive way, and it's nothing to be scared of, because the source won't give you anything that you're not ready for, I think, in my mind. Yeah, I don't think it can do that, because, and if it does, you just got to, if it feels overwhelming, because I have had some overwhelming experiences, you just got to get back in that body and just, you know, take some breaths and just go for a walk and just do some stretching, go listen to that 432 music, meditate. And the other thing I didn't do, Gina, I never really you know, even spiritually, I said to myself, I just want to have my personal experience. I don't want to get information from any other influence. And when I did go listen to information, the only people I listened to was Muji. And I listened to Muji because he was able to help me, because I wanted to get out of the mind and into the presence as quick as possible. So he kind of confirmed to me how to do that, in a way that I was sort of doing it, but he gave me confirmation. And then I listened to this guy called John Butler, because he's an Irish guy who was Christian all his life, but he actually took the spiritual and meditative approach. And because I was so much into silence and space and, you know, everything just slowed down, but he kind of gave me confirmation as well. And the other one is Sadhguru, because Sadhguru, there's no relation to any religion or anything like that. It's just all, I like his yoga stuff, because there's no attachment to philosophy. Yeah. So, and he talks logically, like he has a way to express, and some of that stuff I was feeling I could relate. So they're about the only three. Then you, so, and this group. So I got rid of everything. Like, I got out of other groups, Facebook groups, got out of everything. And I said to the soul and source, this is what we're doing, 100% focus. I'm ready to go. I've got to do, you know, I really want this experience and understanding, so I can be a better human being. for the planet. And so they all said, yeah, let's do it. And to get out of the mind, which I practiced in that first 30 days, is hard, right? So it was hard for me. It might be easy for others. So I was very aware of the monkey mind, because I've done personal development in the past, and we all do it, your own personal growth to be better people, and doing mindset work and being positive, and so I thought to myself, like, I've got to get above the mind somehow. So what I used to do visually is when I had to trap the mind when it kind of got on its roll. So I said, hey, stop first. And then I physically took the mind out of my head, and then I put it in a drawer and I locked it. And I said to the mind, you're not coming out until you listen to the awareness. It's just something I did. And I did that so much. And then one day, kind of just like, I was just always in the presence. And then the mind just came on board. It was like in the middle part of the fast. And the mind came on board, and we collaborated. And it felt safe. Because the ego will always try and get out if it doesn't feel safe. But we felt safe together. And it kind of likes this lifestyle. But at the moment, it does try and get you back to the old ways every now and then. But that's where it comes down to really knowing about your environment and really understanding the environment that you're in, what people are around you, what are they watching, what's going on, because you really got to cut somehow that energy if you're in it some way. And one way is to lock up the mind, be in the awareness, meditate before you start your day, do those rituals in the morning, and that really does it helps. But it's got to be a habit, it's got to be a ritual. And prepare yourself and be kind to yourself, because if you do fall down and something happens and you get an emotional trigger about this and that, just be in it. Like, just love it and accept it, be in it, and then just flip it. Like, use it as an advantage. So if you're getting some suffering and pain from something, you can use that energy to a positive impact. You can really flip it around. Like, when I used to have kidney pains at the beginning, I thought, this is really good because this is a healing thing, and you just flip it. Like, I had pain, I still got that pain in my leg and my knee, and it's all other things that I've had, like dizziness, for example. Like, when you got to be really conscious and slow down, because if you're getting out of bed or you're getting up off a chair, especially at the end part of your fast, you've got to really sort of be conscious where your feet are. So the body actually slows you down into that space, and you've got to be with it. And that's why I love my body now, because my body was so intelligent. It was telling me what to do. My mind wasn't telling me what to do. It was the awareness in the body. And the mind just comes in on board because you use it as like a manager, do this, do that sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway, I better stop talking. You better ask me questions. Hello, everybody. We're all there.
Yeah, when we go into these long fasts, there's so much going on, and we're trying to use the intellect to understand it, and it's a losing battle. Just embrace it and trust. It's in autopilot, and that's really all you need to know. Let everything else go. The water fasting experience that you've had, water is interesting. It's pretty aggressive. There's no support from anything when you're doing a water fast, and that's why people have a very challenging time. Kidneys don't like processing a lot of fluid, but pretty much most everybody cannot just dry fast. So we do the dries and then we wash. We do the dries and then we wash. That's the key of Master Fast. And we're not using water because we don't suggest you drink water ever again. Use it just for washing. But not to mock anything, water fasting, there's a lot of people got results with water fasting, but the same situation comes out as what's your lifestyle after your fast? What are you going to do? How are you going to maintain and embrace the lifestyle after. This is the difficulty and the challenging thing that people just don't get it, is what I've seen over and over. No matter how many times we try and convey the message, it's a lifestyle. I still see most people don't get it. They think it's an event like going to a circus, and we're the clowns doing the 108 days. So, so I don't know how much more simple we can really make it. It's only difficult because we're trained and programmed to see it as being difficult. That's all it is. Fasting is inherent in our design from creation, so it's not difficult. It's as natural as breathing. And the only challenges in today's toxic man, which is at the stage of the most toxic state probably in the history of humanity, we need to use a little bit of prudence to allow the body to purge. And that's that comes with mastering the art of subtraction, and what Master Fast allows you to master, because there's so many tools that we have, where with all the other fasting regimes out there, they don't have much tools, and most of them are focusing on diet and addition, pretty much all of them actually. Whereas we're complete opposite. We're into the art of subtraction, and that's really it. The great Arnold Ehret simplified it with 3 letters: V equals P take away O. If you can understand that formula, you'll understand a little bit of what Master Fast is about. And it's nothing to do with physical. This is where everybody misses the boat and believes this fasting is about physical. It's nothing to do with physical. The physical is the effect. It's the effect of what we're doing. So we were here, let's enjoy it, and let's thrive in the physical because we can. But once you take power and trust in the soul, all is possible, as we've seen over and over and over, and continue to see for the people who choose to live this wonderful lifestyle of art of subtraction. And, when we have wonderful people like yourself, Ranjeet, with full of enthusiasm, it makes it so much easier for people, because we hear a lot of pain from people, a lot of suffering from people, because that's what we're used to focusing on. I'm no different. We all go through that. But let's embrace those times. Let's come to the understanding that we will come out stronger. There is absolutely no doubt you will come out stronger. The more difficult time you go through, the stronger you're going to be after it. Just be prudent and wise and allow the process to take place and watch what happens, because the body has no choice but to follow the program of the soul. When you embody full trust, when we dwell deep in that abyss of the soul, I like to say, we have that elegant dance with the stars that we're also familiar with when we do these long fasts. It's really a dance. You have your ups and downs and everything in between, and just let it flow. Let it flow. We don't want any stagnation. That's where we get into trouble, when we get into stagnant areas of the fast, and we want to move energy and help with all the tools we possibly can to keep the energy moving. That is the key, where I've never seen anywhere else come to that understanding. That took me many, 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 many years and many, many, many fasts to finally come down to that basic little understanding that we now have, which has been able to help so many people. So just embrace it and let it ride. Keep the trust. That's really all we need to do, is have total trust and faith in the soul. The physical stuff, It's really all irrelevant, unless you're dwelling in the heavy matter of plugging yourself up continuously. You will pay the price, like so many of us have, because this body of light doesn't need that heavy 3D matter, but we believe we need it because we've been programmed that we need it. And it's a very difficult and challenging change to our paradigm. It's taking place, this new paradigm of living in the light. And as more and more of us dwell in this path, we will see more and more people come to the understanding. And it's a beautiful thing to watch unfold. It's just the miracles keep us in awe all the time. What did Andrew write? Love you, Ranji. This is wonderful listening, but I have to go. Love to y'all. Enjoy the watermelon. Okay. I think he already left. Yeah.
I can I can keep going because I can talk about the actual physical stuff.
Yeah, it's important for everyone so they have an understanding of what can possibly happen. Like, all these things you were talking about, cramping, this, that, and the other thing. Anything can happen during a fast. Anything. Yeah. But when you have the understanding, the body knows what it's doing. Exactly. Let it happen. If you allow it to take place, you're going to come out stronger. If you start trying to get into the intellect of, oh no, I'm deficient, this, that, and the other thing, I'm starving, I'm this and that, and my body's eating itself, all this negative bull crap that has no relevance in the realm of creation, you're going to just fall in that trap and quit and believe that fasting is the work of Satan or something. I don't know.
It's true. What you believe, you will conceive. It doesn't matter what it is. That's your reality of what you create in this 3D world. Even though like going to the other dimensions is very, very powerful because the soul will help you. And even physically in the first 30 days, which was my biggest struggle because I never really done enemas before. And so I had to, get over that very, very quickly. Whatever I used to believe in about enemas, like why do you stick something up there and throw water up there and your body should be doing it itself? I just said to myself, get over me, because this hasn't got to do with me. This hasn't got to do with my ego anymore, right? So basically the enemas, it was around about 6 litres of water. Sometimes it was a bit more and sometimes a bit less. That was every day except on my dry fast days. Then I had a colonics. At the beginning, I used to get every week. I love the colonics. Obviously it makes you feel better and someone else is supporting you through that process. So at the beginning, a lot of stuff came out. I didn't really get into what worm come out, what parasite come out, what alien thing come out of my backside or anything like that. Like there was just stuff that come out. That's all I got to say. And then it felt good because maybe it's what, I don't know. I think the colonics might have helped my emotional triggers. I don't know, because it just, every time I had a colonic compared to enemas, obviously it's going to be better because you're shoving more water up there and getting cleaned and you feel clean. That's why I feel so. My skin feels so damn good, and it just gets rid of everything. Like, it's true what you say, and even some of the other people said in the videos. If you're in a funk or if you're in a feeling down, you go do an enema, because it's like what you've said, Gino. It's true, because there's something just stuck in there. Just get it, wash it out, and have the herbs. Like, it's just works. It really works. Worked for me anyway. So, and then in the middle bit, okay, not as much stuff come out. So I slowed down going to the colonic therapist. So I only went to once a fortnight sort of thing. And my bowels felt fine. You just find a system that works for you when you go to the toilet or the bathroom, whatever you do. You just work out how you do the enemas. I didn't do any travelling really, so I was pretty lucky that I kept my environment and I kept these days to me and no one else. They were my days. My husband supported me. So I had to get over that, the excuses at the beginning about enemas. And then you just get into it, and then found that stuff coming up after the 3-day dries, and sometimes after dry days, like you do an MFS day, and then usually somewhere around there, there's a bit of stuff comes out, yeah. So the dry fasting, if you stick to the protocols, which I'm very naughty, don't do what I do, people. I did around 14 hours daily, and sometimes I did 16, but that was just accident, Rana, because just life goes on, and then sometimes it was I just didn't feel like having the juice until, and then I used to have my herbs towards the end of the day. The kidney tea I did a lot at the beginning, and then I slowed down the kidney tea. I don't know why, I just didn't, I don't know, somehow you can't, after a dry fast when you have the juice, your stomach gets a little bit bloated. You've got to really sip it really slowly, because I made some mistakes at the beginning where, you gulped it and then you went, oh my God, I felt, when you have the juice even. And so it's sort of like, you kind of feel when you do you do the daily squeeze and the weekly squeeze. The weeklies were I did do 24 hours, and then you do the monthly big squeeze. After those monthly big squeezes, everything slows down and your body doesn't need as much. And I think I did a Facebook Live, and one of your people that done the MFS has said to me, you need to drink more juice. So I upped the ante on the grape juice with the lemon, and I think I don't know that helped, but I find that you've got to sip it really, really, really slow. Like I found I had to sip it slow, and so that's with the enemas. And then even towards now, I still do them. I love the enemas. I don't think I can not do them anymore, because that clean feeling is just so nice, because your body's still dumping even now. Like I feel like I want to have a little break and then go into another long one. I won't go into another long one, but you feel like you want to keep going, because I feel that I'm not completely, it hasn't done it all, which I don't think it ever will do all, because you breathe air and toxicity builds up. So it's always going to be part of a lifestyle forever. So I did those. What else I do? So herbs, I didn't take the herbs on the dry fast days, except sometimes on the 3rd day, because like you feel a bit, I don't know, you kind of feel you need a zap, something. Yeah. So anytime I felt that, I took the herbs at the end of the day. And then what else did I do? The plasma pudding, I didn't at first. You don't really enjoy it. Like there's nothing really to it. Like you just used to have 1.5 or 2 tablespoons on my MFS days, and you just shove it down. Like I didn't think anything of it. You just, it's just something you do, part of the tools, and it helps, because you kind of, when you get really cleaned out in your gut, like you actually feel that plasma pudding like pull things. Mm-hmm. I don't know, does that make sense? Yeah. So what else did I do? So that was pretty much the daily routine. Ask me a question, Ron.
Yeah, this is, you did a great job.
And then the end part, like I call this whole 108 days a 3 trimester. So the first 30 days, if people can get through that first 21, 30 days, Gino, you got it, guys, you got it, mate. You got to just get over the monkey mind, do the protocols, follow the system, surrender to it, don't analyse it, don't make any excuses, just do it. Just do it, just surrender to it. Follow everything that Gino and Rana talk about and what everyone has said here. If there's something that your mind starts playing with in that first 30 days, grab it and just say you're a lie. Because if I've got confusion, then that's a lie. So you bugger that off and just go into, like sticking to the protocols. Throw your energy and focus into learning the lifestyle, and then I think it can become easier. The second part of my thing, absolutely beautiful. It's probably the best part of the whole, just the downloads, everything became a routine, so it became a habit. I got used to it. Now I don't think about it. You know, you wake up and around about 11:30, 12 o'clock, I usually have my grape juice and drink that all the way through. And now my parents are buying me grape juice. You know that quantum, I mean, I believe in the plasma field, but that quantum physics still works here. It really does. They get it. Like, you don't have to say anything to anybody. You don't have to tell everybody that you're doing, days of no eating. Bucket that. Don't tell them. You know, just talk to us here, right? Because we know what you're going through. They don't know what you're going through. And they'll just feel it anyway, because they're like going, oh, wow, you know, you've got heaps of energy. Like, I haven't had this energy for this type of energy. Like, I'm standing up here, guys. I'm talking to you because I'm energized. My old me would have been slouching on a chair because I wouldn't have had the energy to do this. Other things happen physically. I didn't get any muscle spasms. Just trying to think. Only kidney stuff. Felt pain. Oh, yeah. Ages ago, apparently I had a gallstone in my gallbladder because they wanted to take my gallbladder out. And I didn't let them.
Good thing.
And there's one stone there, and I think it's gone because I can't feel it anymore. So I actually had a lot of gallbladder pain at the beginning, and now I don't have that anymore. It's just like one day it just disappeared. You know, I just go, oh, yeah, okay. The only thing I'm getting at the moment, back of my head, it's really tight, and sometimes my throat hurts, and I get this twitching thing right in the bottom of my head. So I just go, yeah, whatever. Then I've had mucus come out of my nose. I've had mucus come out of my ears, and I had stuff come out of my eyes. At the beginning, I really stunk. Like, my skin stunk. You didn't want to be near me. Now I smell really nice. So you don't be near me. No teeth. Oh, the mouth. Oh, after dry fasting, man, the mouth is just amazing. Like, you actually feel like your veins and stuff are all like healing. You don't have to brush your teeth, and you get that yucky gunk stuff on your tongue, but you just scrub it with a tongue scraper. And yeah, the mouth is amazing. It's like really, really, really cool. I actually feel like, you know how when you get deeper into the fast, like these 108 days, you feel it goes into your bones. It's really hard to explain, like, because I've got this knee pain thing because my knee and my right side are all out, and I think that happened when I was a baby, when I was crawling. I think I kicked something out. It's been there all my life, and you feel the pain riding like through your nerves and into your bones, sort of thing. And you think, oh, it's all right because it's only regenerating.
Yeah, like we have this 9-year cycle of the physicality, and depending where you are on that cycle, you may have things happening quicker or taking longer, and that's okay. It doesn't matter, just because we're living the lifestyle, so time is irrelevant. We're living in the now, but that's could be why things don't happen quickly for some people, because depending if they just started their cycle or they're in the middle or they're ending, you know, it all depends on how the cycle is operating on the physicality. But it's interesting, like right now you're at the stage where they just open the doors.
Yeah.
That's it. You open the doors. Now are you going to step through, or are you going to close the doors? That's your
no way.
Because really now, as you walk through, and you know, now the next step is the really important part, breaking the fast. It lasts at least twice as long as the fast. So the next 6 months are breaking your fast. That's how you have to allow the process to take place. Just allow it to take place.
But you can do another long fast, no problem.
Of course, you can live on the fast. You can live on full MFS. You don't have to ever go back to solid foods. But I'm just saying, when we choose to go back to food, we need to do it prudently, because now the body is in a very sensitive state, because the plasma vacuum tube is cleaned out pretty good. 108 days is a pretty good job. And the energy is flowing in there. So once you start putting in this heavy 3D matter, you're going to feel it. And the body's going to go, what are you doing? Especially when you start moving away from fruit. So fruit is, no, even fruit sometimes, for some people, it can be a bit of challenging to get the body to start working again, even with just fruit. But once you start moving away from fruit, getting into the greens, it gets a little more heavier, then you get into the veggies, get into whatever, start getting into heavier and heavier, and then you start getting into more and more challenges. And your body's going to go, what the hell are you doing? Because when that plasma vacuum tube is open, there's a completely different sense of being that you know. Your body's talking to you. Some will refuse to listen to it, and they'll keep eating. They'll go off and they'll just keep eating. We've seen that happen. They ignore all the information that is presented to them, which is very clear. But they want to interpret it in their own ways to make, what's the word I'm looking for? To justify themselves eating, physical foods. And that's okay. Not everybody's ready to let go of physical foods. I'm not ready yet. But we can do it part-time, and we can vary those part-times as a little bit longer of going with days without food. And then we start thriving more and more with less and less and less. And this happens over years. It's not going to happen over weeks or months. It happens over years. So let's allow the process to take place and embrace it. And that's really the biggest challenge for people to have to want to get the intellect involved, and they get in trouble every time. Every time you put the intellect involved, I call it the luciferic intellect, you get in trouble. I got into trouble lots of times with that luciferic intellect, the ego, or whatever you want to call it. You'll lose every time with all that science and this and that and the other thing. Yeah, if you want to get into that, it's your choice. But we've left that behind, and I'm glad I did.
I'm not getting in. I know what I'm going to do. Because I know, I'm listening to the other interviews, I hear how people get back on food. And so I speaking, sort of going how I can manage that. And I'm going to get through Christmas, and it's pretty much going to be fruit. And my actual goal is to be liquid, really, and maybe have some fruit. That's my ultimate goal. To do 2 days dry a week. So I wanted to ask you, Ryan, if this was okay. 2 days dry, 2.5 days MFS, and 2.5 days, which is the fruit, and having some liquids. Now I'm going to want to do that all the way to the end of February, and then I might just do a short MFS for 30 days, but I want to do a long one, and maybe 127 days sometime next year through our winter or something like that in Australia. That's my plan, because I feel that if I go longer, I don't want to get entrapped in that vortex. So I want to capture it before those the mind comes in, like you said, the lupus mind comes in and takes me. Because listening to other people, and people that have been before me, they talk about this a lot, that they've done the 108 days or they've done a long MFS, and they go back, and it's really, really difficult to get back on an MFS again. And also that has to do with feelings as well, because I think feelings is what controls what you do. And there is a attachment to even not feeling good, like when you are suffering and things like that. There is a thing that people get addicted to, and it's that's what I'm planning to do, and I'm happy for people to join me doing that. And I'll post on the page as well. I don't care about, to tell you the truth, I never cared about weight loss or health or anything like that when I started this. And if my body, even for the next one, goes down to skin and bone, I know other people outside of you will say things, but that's their perception and perspective of what's going on, because that's for them. And most people are probably in some form have some sort of envy as well. And that's their business, nothing to do with you. So if I go to skin and bone, don't care.
Yeah.
I don't, because I know my body now, because this feeling that I've got now, where the body is highly more intelligent than you are, I'm just going to trust in it, because, like, I'm not going to die. I'll probably, as you said, Gino, and even if I did go transition over, I know where I'm going. But even if, when you start eating, like, that's what's going to keep, that is the thing that's going to, I know it's going to.
The plan you said is a great plan. I wish
Well,
everybody would stay on a plan like that.
I honestly, I would not. My advice is to slow down with the dry, not to do 2 days a week. It's still too early. Like, I would say maybe in a year from now of doing 1 day a week.
When you're eating, not for me. You try it out, see how it goes for a while.
I don't know how to say, but
the big challenge is people go back to 7 days a week. They don't maintain any fasting when they get off the fast.
Yeah, because your emotions take over.
Yeah.
When you start eating.
Emotion is the seed.
They take over when you start eating, and that's just a fact. It gets worse. The emotions get worse. It gets the best out of you sometimes. It's like almost out of control.
The more you eat, the more out of control you're going to get.
Control, yes. So I would say this. I wouldn't say 2 days a week, because you know what? We have the rest of our lives to train the body, right? So nobody is in a rush. And it's not about weight loss, but you will lose a lot of weight. And okay, I don't know if you want to lose more weight, but let's say you reach a weight where, okay, when you are smaller, it's not the best weight. You look in the mirror and you say, okay, I'm a little bit too small. And I have been too small as well. And I can say it's too small, but at the same time, I feel amazing, so I don't really care. But I criticize myself in the mirror, and I hear people's criticism as well. So it's not the best place to be. The best place would be like for you to be at the weight that you want to be. Like you choose your weight and you manifest it. If you want to be fit and you feel this is the way I want to look, then this would be the best. But initially, most of us, I would say everybody almost, we lose weight. Yeah, we lose a lot of weight. The more the dry, the more you lose. The more the dry, the more you lose. So when you do it, when you take it easy, you allow the body to adjust itself without losing too much weight too fast. Let's say do it for a year, right? I would do 1 day dry, but I would do the other day that you have dry, I would do it liquid. I would not eat. And I would actually, honestly, like from my experience with food, since I broke my first 108 days, which is more than 3 years ago, my experience is that eating more than 1 day a week is tricky. It's actually tricky because it does trigger, the cravings and the emotions. Cravings and emotions, I see them always together, And probably I say, we're having stuff inside and things are, we have other beings in there, and emotional, we become emotional, so.
Well, whatever food you eat, there's emotion attached to it, from the grower to the guy who picks it, to the guy who packages it, to the shipper, there's all kinds of emotions in that, all the foods we eat.
For sure.
Unless you're growing your own.
The cleaner the food, the easier it is on your emotions. The cleaner the food, the lighter, the easier it is. Because you're going towards lighter, you're going towards fasting, less emotions, less craziness, And you will become smarter dealing with your emotions when you're fasting compared to when you're eating. As you go lighter, you're smarter with controlling your emotions. You will learn, you will observe, even if you're stubborn and you don't change your emotions so much on the fast. At least one thing I know is that you observe, you see that you are not doing a good job. Whereas when you're eating, you don't even see that. you think you're right, But when you're fasting, at least even if you don't change, you observe. And when you observe, then slowly start changing. And you at least you put an effort towards changing, because every human being wants love and wants peace, you know? And that's what we will go to. And fasting is the best way to take us there. So yeah, with a dry, I would say I would not do 2-day dry.
Okay.
I would not do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll
and then, but I do 1-day eating. The rest of the week is master fast. So I would say, if you want to go deeper, go like this: more liquids, less eating. Keep your dry, because you don't want to go too much too fast. But once a month, do your 72 hours. If you can't do whatever, 48, you know, whatever works.
Yes. Okay, no, thanks for that, Rana. I think I will do that because it's eating with you guys too. And that's a nice energy there.
Yeah. We have slightly different way, you know, opinion about things, but I don't know. I feel I am emotional when it comes to food, more than him. That's for sure. You know,
the dry is where everything happens, and you need to just trust it. Just because you do more dry doesn't mean you're going to lose more weight. That's a belief system.
Oh yeah, no.
At the beginning, you will. When your body's clean, you won't. When your body is clean,
some people go to skin and bones. Not everybody goes to skin.
Yeah, that's because they're already cleaner. Like you don't. I do.
Emotions involved.
Emotions, of course. Emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, the dry is, especially when you come off a dry. So when you're in the dry, it's all good. But when you come off that 3-day one, the next day is just absolutely. You remember the things that you know how, like, because you're living in the unknown, right? So the more that you think you know, you really don't know.
You know nothing.
And you're going, yeah, you know nothing. You know, I've even forgotten things. Like somebody was asking me a question about healing crisis. I didn't even know what that was. Like, I go, healing crisis. I couldn't resonate with the word. And someone said something else to me, and I'm going, and this is after my dries. I get this thing, and I go, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what words mean anymore. Some of the words. It's like Mother Teresa. I remember this quote. She says, she goes, I will always go on a march for peace, but I will never go on a march for no war, because it's the words and the things that you use and what you focus on is what pulls you even further to the truth. So I never believe I'm going to go skin and bone, and it doesn't bother me. And I know a lot of people have here, and that's their journey, because the body needs to rebuild themselves. I'm very fortunate that I've got a good immune system, and I've got it's talking about science stuff, but it's got nothing to do with that. It's got to actually do with the soul and where you're connected. It doesn't matter. Everything that's happened in the past is already gone. We live in the now, as we know. And so everything right now is what we're doing right now, how we're, having this, gathering together with souls is more important than anything really, because I don't have to say anything. Like, these other people on here, I can feel them. Like, I feel their soul. I really love every single one. Like, my heart just oozes for you, and you're here to learn, and we're learning together, and I'm actually getting information off you, and you probably don't even realize it, and vice versa. It's just all happening, and there's no. The other thing too, I want to talk about the word fear, just really, really quickly. Now, there is no fear, really. If you do feel that anxiety or something like that, there's a couple of things you can do. One is with the mind. When you feel fear, flip it to excitement, because it's the same form of energy. And fear, if you really delve into it, why are you fearful of doing doing an MFS for 30 days? What is it that you're really fearful about? Is it because you've got to change your life? Isn't that great that you do, because it's about time that you do? Is it because there's other people around you that might not support you? That's an excuse, because we're here. You're not on your own, okay? Is it because you're going to look in the mirror and really look at you and say, oh, this is who I really am? fantastic, because those masks will come down for you. And it's about time to know who you really are and why you're here. So is it the fear that you're going to you're going to get dizzy and you're going to fall off the bed or whatever? Strategize around that. What is it that you can do if you have a fall? If you do have a fall, which, I haven't had a fall. So, what is it? Is it because you're going to let go of some of your social events for 30 days, whatever you do it for? What's 30 days in your whole life of 100 and something years? Because you're going to live longer anyway. And so it's really got to look at what that fear is, and that fear will give you the answer to the biggest question that you've always wanted. So use that suffering of the emotion to a positive and flip it, because as what Gino said before, the deeper the suffering, the deeper the pain, the bigger the breakthrough, the bigger the bliss. Always, always. There is nothing else. We do not live in duality either, because likes and dislikes, yes and no, it is what it is. And whatever you feel, it is what it is right now. Embrace it, accept it, love it, learn from it, and grow from it. Because the other dimensions just want you to be free, like they want me to be free. And the other thing, start living in joy and humour. I look at everything, even this is funny to me. Like, I find so many things just absolutely hilarious. Like, I never thought there was that funny before. Like, someone talks to you, they might say to you, oh, you're looking a bit skinny, or you're looking a bit this and that. I just think that's really funny. Like, I just think, what does that mean? What does that word really mean to you? It doesn't mean anything to me, because it's like, we are who we are. And it's standing. And the thing is that this MFS gives you confidence. And I wasn't confident like this when I first started. Even after my 21-day water fast, I wasn't. The confidence is just like, you just know when you know, when you know, when you know. You just know it, because there is nothing that's going to shake you from doing what you believe, what you want to do. And this MFS gets you the fastest way there that any other thing you can do. Like, even if you go and meditate on the mountain for thousands of years, even if you pray and whatever you do, I mean, those things support you. But if you can't clean out this business and let that light flow easy, and let the flow just be so simple and nice and smooth, then it's just not gonna. I don't think it can happen, because you've got to let go of all those addictions, and everything just goes, and then all of a sudden you're standing there naked, you're completely transparent. There's nothing. You are the soul. There's nothing else. And it's just love. Nothing touches you. Nothing can penetrate to you when you stand in that space. And fair enough, you might make up one day and you have bad days and whatever it is, but I think you'll always remember going through this, and because you have that memory now, and that feeling's there, and you can come back to this if you have to, depending where life travels you. Nothing's going to hurt you. There is no fear. And I really want to get that through to people. Fear is just excuses it's nothing. If you really want to do this, you can do this. And I don't know about that thing about being ready or whenever. I just think, just do it. Like this, do 30 days or do something, and then that will give you the momentum to keep going further and further. And we don't, that's all I want to say about the word fear. Yeah. Does that make sense? I really want to drum people.
Yeah, I think it's very important to realize that there is discipline at the beginning. At the beginning of the master fast, you want to be disciplined. It's not going to be necessarily the most comfortable. It's outside your comfort zone, because you're changing. So there's no going back to your old ways. And at the beginning, there's a little bit of discipline as you're changing. So yeah, it's at the beginning. After that, it's a routine that is much easier than ever in your life, right? It is an easy routine, and you will be very thankful that you have changed to a much simpler lifestyle.
Yeah, and people have different lifestyles even now. Like the word responsibility. rid of some of the responsibilities. If the responsibilities are too overwhelming, get rid of them and just go down to the responsibilities that are important for your values and get rid of the rest, because you don't need them hanging around. And I think less responsibilities. Sometimes I look after my parents as well, because my mum is sick and my dad's a recovering alcoholic. And so that's a responsibility. And then you have responsibility of children. And I babysat my nephews the other day, and nephew and niece, and I had that responsibility. But, you just tap into that responsibility when you need to. But the real responsibility is your soul. And how that ever gets you through to living your real purpose or whatever calling in life here, like you and Gino do, with what you're doing, your calling here is, it just feels great. Like, you must be on a high, like every Saturday night, like you just must be so happy. And I'm like thinking, it's about time I probably have my watermelon, you have your herbal wine. And we have a feast, so I don't know how I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, bon appetit.
Let's break it. Yeah.
Good, okay.
So we want to pray for you. Okay? So
let's bless that watermelon.
Thank you.
We bless you. We pray that it goes well for you, your journey and healing and going to the light. And it's as smooth as you want it to be. And full of beautiful surprises. Yeah. God bless.
Thank you.
God bless you, sweetheart.
Bon appetit.
Wow.
Cheers.
Just like water. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my God. Oh. Wow. I've never tasted anything like it.
Is it good?
Oh my God. Goosebumps. Oh, thank you, everyone. I can feel your love in it. Oh my goodness. I want to taste one that's really right.
It's interesting when you eat food for after a long time.
The teeth work.
They're still working.
Denise, looking fabulous, girl. Congratulations.
I
love you. Kisses. And then most people go on my MFS journey because they are sick, out of desperation. Yep. Almost being forced for all sorts of different reasons. Yep. But it takes a very special soul to take this path when they don't really have to, out of choice. You are an angel. I'm praying with you, darling. Oh my God, that's the first bite of watermelon. Yeah, that's the reality of the matter. Most people wait till they have to do something to make changes. I was one, and can you imagine most people start doing it for everything but that reason? It'd be a whole different world, and that's what we're all about.
But we are here to experience the challenges. I mean, we are here for a reason. Yeah. How is it going over there?
I'm crying because it really is it's a joy cry.
Andrew,
and
Andrew,
it's
Ranjeet,
really
you're one of a kind. Thank you so much for all you continue to give.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy every bite, sweetheart. Enjoy. This is your time. Enjoy it.
Savor it. Savor it. Savor it. It's a very unique experience.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy the chewing part. Enjoy everything. The blessing.
It's like just just like the whole, since 26th of August, it's just all come into one.
Yeah.
Into like one moment of just complete, like I feel too blessed. You kind of feel, why me? Why can't it be other people? Sort of thing. You're like, I want it more for other people than I want it for myself. That's why I do what I'm doing right now, because you can't take away this feeling. It's pretty. It's just amazing.
You'll always remember your experience.
Yeah.
And this is why, we keep.
Wow. I didn't think I was emotional.
We come to the understanding through the experiences. It's really the only way.
Yeah.
For us physical
the ups,
beings.
the downs.
Yeah.
There may be 1 in a billion who can do it the other way around, but when you're doing it the other way around, why do you need to eat?
It's the water in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not water. It's everything but water. It's information.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I want some of your herbal wine.
Yeah, it's great.
I love the herbal wine. It's awesome.
Mucus coming out of my nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the fallacy of the mucusless diet. There's no such thing.
No.
It's what most people understand, but the body makes mucus to protect itself continuously, and it'll just make it at different levels depending on the obstructions we put within it. If we're just breathing air, you'll have a very small amount of mucus. That's all it needs to protect from all the toxic pollutions and stuff we're taking in. But when you eat fruit, you'll build in a little more mucus. You start eating the greens, you'll build more. You start taking vegetables, you build more. You start taking in grains, you'll take more proteins, a lot more, and so on and so forth. You get into the fats and the dairy and all that, you start building really a lot of mucus because the body has to protect itself. So that's why it builds mucus. It's not the food per se that gives you the mucus. It's your body protecting itself and it's creating the mucus.
But there's more mucus forming.
No, it's a fallacy. It's creating a bigger shield through the fields of the food you're intaking, because everything's done through a field interaction, not physicality. The way we were taught. So you taking milk, your body's going to build a lot of mucus. Is it the milk producing the mucus? No, it's your body producing the mucus to protect itself. It is the body, absolutely. So that's something that is challenging for a lot of us to comprehend, but that's really the way I see it happens. The food is a fallacy, just as diets are a fallacy. Diets will heal you. No diet will heal you. No herb will heal you. Only your soul can feed, hydrate, balance, and heal. It's your body through source.
Yeah, mucus forming food means that it causes your body to form mucus. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is the food itself.
Yeah, but look at the way people interpret it. It's the food that created the mucus. It's not that.
Yeah, it's the body trying to get rid of it.
Forces your body to protect itself.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Mucus inducing is a good word. Mucus inducing food, right? It induces your body.
Yeah. It's when we have a clear understanding, we can make better choices of where we want to go. Much better, I find. Like the fallacy of you need to drink so many glasses of water a day. Look what that got humanity. Everybody's carrying bottled waters and everybody's sicker than ever. Water ain't gonna save you.
Yep.
This is freaking amazing.
Good. Yeah, this is a very special moment.
Take your time.
Very special time.
Enjoy every bite.
It's a very special time. I feel like, it would be nice to everybody to record themselves breaking the 108 days, the first meal, because it's very special. It's very special.
Oh, it's nothing. Not
it's
worried. Everything, the whole process has just been simple.
Yeah.
It's just been really, and what you get for it, like putting your body through it and suffering everything, the emotional, whatever goes on, it's worth it for this moment.
Yeah.
Just for this moment.
Yeah.
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 So
it's not even
now
you
that
keep running.
Now that you've chosen to eat, a lot of people make the mistake of not eating enough. not you don't force yourself, but you want to eat enough so the body can move it through. That's one of the big mistakes people make when they break their fast. They eat very, very small amounts and nothing seems to work. You need to eat enough to get it to the body to move it through, and make sure the bowel is moving. That's the other very important thing. Has anybody got any questions?
Oh, man. If they want to unmute, can unmute, can't they?
Keep eating.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
It's so real. It feels so real.
Well,
It doesn't feel like.
Watermelon's great for breaking fast. It moves through most of us very easily. It's very easy. One of the easiest fruits to digest are the melon family. You know.
And I've got no pain in my stomach or anything. It's all in the mouth. And then you feel you're definitely connected. You can, like the fibre in the watermelon. It's really just pure love, hey. Right. So good. Like the source really loves our body. The feeling that you get, it's like, it wants to support us so much, but we resist it.
Yeah, like every single person that's done a long MFS, when they watch this, they can relate. Nobody else could. The understanding comes through the experience, right? And it's awesome,
It's good to break it with something you love, something that tastes good, Sometimes I remember my first 108 days, I broke it with cantaloupe, and it was not very ripe. And I was at work, so I'm kind of stuck. I can't go shopping. And I ate it, and it was not great. I enjoyed it, but I started having yeast infection in my mouth because it was not ripe. I don't know what it was. So I am happy you are enjoying it, because this can be, for some people, a tough.
Yeah.
No, it's just.
No.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, because I make sure I picked a ripe watermelon yesterday.
Nice.
Really, really ripe.
Yeah. It's important to have fruit for break.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. I've only got half. It costs $2, but $1.50 for a meal is pretty good.
Nice. That's a good price.
Very right.
It's local?
Oh my God. Glad I'm doing it with you, everyone here, because I feel more in it. It's like, just hungry. It's raining here. I'm going to run outside after we finish here. I feel the rain on my skin. It's really hot and muggy. We've had over 30 degrees Celsius.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we've had thunderstorms, and there's a cyclone up north. So it's been really hot, and it's been great, the weather here. I love walking, when it's like this, when it's really cloudy and it's a bit wet and drizzly. Just put my feet out there in the dirt. It'll be nice. Yeah.
Denise is asking, is the taste as you expected?
I actually had no expectation from this process. It actually tastes like, it's like if you taste watermelon for the first time. As a child, like you think, wow, it's just, what else is there except watermelon now?
Denise is saying, for me, I was so looking forward to those first bites, and I was disappointed. Yeah, like when I broke mine, many long fasts, you start eating, you're going, what did I eat for? It tastes good and everything, but what did I eat for? So everybody has a different sensation when they break their fast.
I think it's important to, to take it easy, pray, and make sure you have a good fruit in front of you, because you don't want to break it with something that's not ripe or doesn't taste good, Yeah.
I was feeling a bit dizzy before it's all gone.
Yeah.
I had this hot, and it felt really cool.
Yeah, the dizziness is it happens a lot for new fasters, and they get scared through fear because they don't know what's happening. They think they're starving to death. There's no nutrition and all that crap. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just trust your soul.
Deep
Use
detox.
the tools.
Use
the tools.
deeply.
It's usually always before the body is trying to release something when the dizziness starts to happen.
Yeah.
I'm having this for you, Denisa. You can feel contest out of UK.
Denise, are you fasting? Yeah, okay.
We're always fasting.
We're always fasting. This is the thing. This is another thing I wanted to say, Ranjeet. And for everybody, really, 108 days, yes, it's a fast, but it's like an amazing, I don't know what to say, like it's a very unique experience. It's after, when we break the fast, it doesn't mean, I don't even like to call it breaking the fast. When you start eating,
starting the journey.
When you start eating, imagine that we're still fasting. We're still fasting. So this is my meal, and then I'm fasting. So get back in the fasting mode. Even if you eat 2-3 meals a day, you're still fasting between the meals. So it's important, I think, for us to keep it going.
Yeah.
We're
always fasting, and we have times where we choose to eat. That's the way it's a better way of looking at it. We're always fasting, and then we pick and choose the times to eat. And we do it less and less and less.
Yeah. And try not, like when you eat, maybe maximum 3 meals. And, Gino says maximum 2 meals. I eat, 2 fruit meals and 1 vegetable meal when I eat.
But you're doing it once a week.
1 day a week. But it's important between these 3 meals. It's important at the time, I give my body a little break. Like now you're in the fasting mode again, and then you get a nice reward, which is, emotional reward, really. And then get back on the fasting mode, and then, another reward. I mean, it is a reward, isn't it, Ranjeet, to eat?
We all love to eat. We all love the taste, the flavors, the aromas.
Yeah. It's an emotional reward, I would say. Emotional, energetic, I don't know, the whole thing, Spiritual reward, everything.
And then a lot of socializing with family, friends, and so on that's happened around food. That's a lot of love experiences that goes with that. And there's some negative stuff that goes with eating, but we want to focus on all the beautiful things we had when we were eating. We get-togethers with family. Those, you never forget those memories, right? Yeah. And what the aromas, the taste. Oh, that wonderful meal we had that day. Everybody remembers it.
That's why it's comfort food, right? It's comfort because it's comforting us. It's bringing the love again. But then, you want to be in a fasting mode all your life, and then sometimes eat. I think that's the way. That's the best way to go after 108 days. Be fasting, eat sometimes.
So, Denise, I'm sorry, I'm going to say goodnight from England. It was lovely to see you all. Thank you, Ranjeet, sharing for this special moment with us all. Love you, Plaf.
Thank you so much, Denise.
She's gone,
Yeah, she's beautiful. I love her. Love Denisa.
Yeah, she went through.
I'm on a.
Sorry.
Sorry, I said I'm on a really massive high. Like I'm not here. Like it's wow. Oh, the love. It's just, oh my goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
Is your husband around you? Is he with
No,
you?
no. So I have to go away.
Yeah.
But he'll get some, and it's wow.
It's a special moment. Yeah.
Awesome.
And, too much. Got to give back to the planet.
As I was saying, Lisa had massive transformation, which is difficult for people to embrace when they come off these long fasts. This is the challenge, because the transformation is way more than you've ever expected. And it's just too much. It's too overwhelming to make that massive change for a lot of people, for a lot of us. So, this associating yourself with all that food around social gatherings, it's massive change. Massive change.
Yeah. So yeah, after the 108 day, take it slow. I say, take it slow. Be gentle and live it.
I've got a social gathering to go to after this. I've delayed it. This. I have food there and everything, but I'm not eating it. But it's my family, extended family. The ones that the other part, so it's them, and she's got grandchildren now, and so I'm just gonna go and just smile, just ooze out the love through me. And some of them haven't seen me since the beginning of the year, so it'll be great to. I'm gonna smile. I'm just gonna laugh because it'll be funny. My parents will be there too, so it'll be fun. And we are all blessed, hey, like the lives that we live here, and the experience that we can have, and what we can touch with our fingertips, and what we can hug, and what we can kiss, and what we can love on, and animals, and just the air that we breathe. Switch off the TV and just get out, and just, we have so much. There's a lot of things going on around us, but they're nothing. They're just other people's stories. You've got your own story, and you can just enjoy the goodness and the love that we've got here. We're very, very fortunate as human beings. I really truly feel that we can delight in those other things much more, and than the other stuff, the mind stuff, monkey mind stuff, and let your body suffer. Our bodies they just want to stretch. Our bodies just want to stretch and serve us and serve the planet. And to be 48 and have this amount of energy, I feel like I got energy from like a mid-20-year-old. It's sort of really quite, to do a headstand. You can imagine doing a headstand in 3 months, and it's taking you 25 years to do a headstand. That's just really shows you that is metamorphosis stuff. That's transformational, and that's the stuff that's really juicy and good. And the other pain, suffering, all that's just just gets you there to realise that what's really good in life, which is having this experience right now with all of you and everyone here, and it's going to be recorded, and I'm going to be able to remember this for the rest of my life because you've recorded it, and that's a blessing. And we'll never forget each other because we'll remember this moment. There's too much love in it. Yeah, it's just wonderful. You can't give you as much gratitude and whatever than this. After 108 days, it's 109 consecutively. It's like, oh, wow. There is no words to explain it, that's for sure. It's just the feeling to, like, you don't need to go to ayahuasca, whatever that thing is that they go to Peru, or people take whatever stimulants they want. I mean, I'm not going to come down. You just.
Yeah, well, when the plant's done its job, you go back to where you were, and then they want to do it again and again and again. Well, you can do it yourself. Everything that we take externally, the body can create on its own, because we all come from the same creator. And that's where the new understanding is what we're trying to allow people to conceive and understand. Everything we're taking internal, we just prevent the body from making it. We stop the body from making it by taking anything that the body makes. When we ingest it, the body stops making it. So we continuously have to take it from external sources. So when you train your body by opening up the plasma vacuum tube, everything changes. Because your body starts making everything, starts hydrating, starts doing this and doing that. And that's why you start seeing the miraculous transformations happen, because they can only happen when the soul does it, and the body does it in the physical. So it's just absolute amazing to watch people transform. It's just awesome. Like some things that you go, wow, oh, how the hell did that happen? But yeah, no problem. The body can do it, and the soul can do it. Like two women, they grew over an inch and a half. Reported two women. That's you. Kelly was one. I can't remember who the other one was. But everybody, if you would measure, you'll see your height gets regained through the gravitational magnetic field force of hydration.
Yeah. More flexibility, more like flow, energy flow.
Food.
Yeah.
Slows us down.
Yeah.
The heavier the food, the more it slows us down. So fruit, it's limit. It slows us down the least out of all the physical foods, and is why we like to choose to eat fruit. We're not eating fruit for nutrition, and this is
for joy. It's for joy.
Yeah, this is the fallacy of where everybody else is going. Oh, you need to do this diet and do that diet. No, we're just eating for pleasure. We're not eating because we need it. And that's what people are having a difficult time understanding what MFS is all about. The eating times are for pleasure.
If I'm eating because I need it, it's because I crave it. I crave it because I'm blocked, But the best is to eat for pleasure. Pure pleasure.
Enjoy,
just to experience it.
Savor
nothing more, nothing less. And then the rest of your life will be, the best would be, in my opinion, to fast. Or just to stop, consuming at least the hard food.
Yeah, the definition of fasting out there is deprivation, right? And we're the absolute opposite. Fasting in the realm of MFS is about infinite abundance. You're attaching yourself and learning how to adapt and remember that you have an infinite source of energy fields that you can tap into. That's what the new definition of fasting is.
It's it's amazing, when you said, Ranjeet, that you knew at a young age that fasting was important, and you knew something about, when you went to church, there's something special about it. It's I think some people are influenced at a young age, and they will go back to where they were, after so many years, you'll go back and you will really appreciate what you learned as a kid. Different things, different tools, and I also, when I was a kid, I used to dry fast Ramadan, and my goodness, the energy that I used to have. My sister, she didn't like fasting. She was not religious at all. And she didn't pray, and she didn't want to fast. So she would be upset that she is forced to fast, like the Ramadan, after a certain age, in the culture, you fast. If you don't fast, they will look at you, they will say, what's wrong with you? You fast. And if you don't fast, then you're looked at as weak, it's the culture. My sister would come from school and she would go straight to bed, my older sister. She doesn't want to deal with anything in life. That's it. She's like, I don't want to deal with life. I'm going to sleep, If I can't eat, I'm going to sleep. Whereas I used to go to the room and I used to study while fasting. Like after school, I go to close the room and I start studying. And it takes energy to study and memorize, like you're using your brain, you're memorizing, and you're dry fasting. But I knew it was so special because I had more energy when I was dry fasting than when I was studying. It was so special. And I knew that, back then. So I cannot forget this. Like, I don't care. I cannot forget this. I would always appreciate it. Even if I don't fast, I appreciate what I learned,
I remember growing up, Sundays was family big meal, right? And for some reason, on Sundays, I wasn't hungry, but I forced myself to eat because the food was awesome. And it was like that for years. Oh, we got to eat again. It's already. Like I wasn't hungry, but it was, you have to be at the dinner table. You have to eat. This is, family meal on Sunday. And that went on for years. And looking back, oh man, the body was telling me, what are you doing eating 7 days a week? It's ludicrous.
Bravo. Good job.
Good little girl, aren't I?
How's your energy feeling?
Mine?
Yeah, your energy.
Yeah.
How's the energy?
Like it's even on higher. I'm high.
Yeah.
I've got to move.
Yeah.
I've got to probably go for a walk or something to.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. I like it. I feel like I'm sitting there with you and just really hugging you.
You don't feel heavy?
No.
No?
My stomach, I feel like, when you have a gulp of juice after a dry fast,
Yeah.
you'll lose a tiny bit, not much.
Yeah.
I don't feel nauseous or anything. I feel great.
Yeah, the first meal is nice, yeah. Especially when it's a good fruit, you enjoy it. That's good. And it's
I feel like
with joy and pleasure.
You're in Sunday morning?
Yeah, so it's I think it's 12 o'clock, isn't it? Let me have a look. Yeah, nearly 12 o'clock, midday.
So you have a whole day to keep busy now. Forget about food.
No, enjoy. It's your first day of eating. Enjoy, eat what you want, fruits, and get into the routine. You have a plan.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, straight into it. Nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop this feeling of confidence, and and now I'm thinking right now is because we're talking about 2019 and the goals you need to set and the values. So it's thinking about the other parts of my life, how that's going to pan out, and tapping into the awareness and the presence to do that rather than the mind to do it, because the mind just always sabotages everything that you really want in your soul, because you've got to go outside your comfort zone to do things, and so the mind will always try and keep you safe. So now I know how the MFS has taught me how to tap into that, trust into the intuition, go with the flow, and allow the awareness to guide me into the purpose or the goals that can happen for 2019. And whatever calling that I have. So I'm definitely going to work on that for 2019 and keep going. Life just gets better.
I know.
It's your choice, isn't it? It's always, we have free will.
Absolutely.
Free will for, don't let the mind free will you. Let it's the purpose for free will. It's so amazing. I just want to hear the other people's voices. Like, who's there? Got Margaret, who's our superstar.
Everybody's quiet. Everybody's experience is unique and different, and it's wonderful that people share, so we get a reflection of what they're going through. But your experience is your experience. It's unique, and we like to just focus on all the positive outcomes of people living and loving the lifestyle, and forget about the ones that are just not ready. It doesn't matter. Because we understand that everything's possible. And when you have that understanding, you know where you're going. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt anymore.
Yeah.
Clarity is beautiful. Clarity, clear.
You go to Skin and Bones, who cares? The body's going to build itself much better than it ever was. Like, this is where, the fear rules people. Oh, you better eat. You're going to die. Go see your doctor. Oh, my God. What have we come to? Programmed robots. It's just that, I'm sorry, but it's just, when I just read that, I go, my goodness. Why do people choose ignorance? Why? I was there, but, I understand. But it was the longing for truth brought me out of it. I'm free.
Yeah, but you don't lose weight so much anymore. You can go for a long drive. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, no, thank you. The experience and the understanding. Oh, man, you wouldn't even get this in, 50 lifetimes, honestly.
David, thanks for sharing, Ranjeet. You're glowing. Enjoy the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I asked for a picture, because when you look at people when they started, you can see it on the photos, you can see it in the video, you can see it in life. There's a whole new glow of light coming through people when they're on these long fasts. You can see the beam.
Yeah, I look so different from. Yeah, I look very.
Very happy for you. We are.
Me too. I'm happy for me too. Happy, not for me. I'm happy for we. I think for us, because everyone gets a taste of this.
What number is she? 116, 117. I don't know. I'll check it out tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
That we know of. There's more out there.
108 days. How many people?
Some people don't
finished?
share. Yeah.
It's over 108. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, 116. Oh, cool.
Somewhere around there.
I think after this, I'm just gonna go outside and put, and feel the rain on me. It's dripping, and just feel that. And it's really about feelings, isn't it, Gino? It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's all about feelings. Yeah.
Emotion.
Yeah.
Seed of all love, plasma love flowing. That emotion is creation. So if you understand it's creation, everything's possible with plasma love always flowing. That's the ultimate emotion. All the other ones that we're struggling to balance out, all we need to bring in tune, plasma love always flowing, and all the other ones are balanced automatically. And we're all struggling and just in that, focusing on all of whatever. When all we have to do is go quiet, go within, and let that plasma love flow. You just have to tap into it. It's always there. It's an illusion that we're not part of it. Right? This is the training of separation, division, divide and conquer, all that crap. So we just go within and allow the process to connect to that source, and everything is fine. That's why in nature people feel so much better, because the fields of that plasma love always flowing are stronger when you're connected in nature with your feet on the ground. Yeah. Because we're in the physical realm, people feel it more in those areas. But really, in reality, what is reality? Close your eyes, you're there.
Yeah, I mean, go outside. Go outside. This is nature. I mean, yeah, it's cold. You have to put your coat on, but it's nature still.
Yeah, but no, most of us, it's nice when we connect. You get that stronger sense of feeling, because we're so ingrained in the matter field. But it's always there. The grass is always greener within.
Absolutely.
And, all the places are wonderful in nature and everything, but the grass is always greenest within. Don't fall into the illusionary trap because you're in a polluted, thick city that you can't connect. It's an illusion. Just put on a YouTube video of some nature, close your eyes, and you're there. You're there. I've talked about I've talked about the test they did with, I think it was basketball players. They split the team in half. Half practiced really physical, the other half meditated practicing. At the end, they tested them, the same results. Come on. Plasma love is always flowing. Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. We're at the 2-hour mark. Let's call it a close. We'll let you get on with your day. And I got to go meet some friends. First time in a long time. And we'll see you guys on the page.
Love you so much.
Love you.
Thank you, Ranjeet.
Okay, bye. Bye. Love you too. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.